Cameras check in. Sound off, Shock.
Ready?
Ready to rock?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Stage left, I guess. There's a
Cool.
door in the
Let's go.
Oh, we're so ready.
So ready. What do you got to do? Go ahead. We'll just do it, right? Yeah.
My senior thesis is called Serendipity. It's a live music concert with two bands. One is Me Three Mine and one is Audacity. The final product will be, it's hard to say because it'll be online, it'll be available on DVD. We're going to try to put together a Blu-ray of it. It'll just be the concert, and then I'm also going to have the albums on the side.
It's going to be great to hand somebody a physical copy of something and be like, this is us, this is what we do.
It'll be easier to get gigs now, I think. We just want to do a festival and we send in that stuff.
Giving us experience recording is a big deal. We know what we're doing now. If in case, later down the road we want to record something else.
I mean, to put something out there that looks really professional, I mean, it speaks a lot for the effort you put towards your music. And
We have some recordings, but we don't have of live shows, but we don't have any good quality. We've never recorded in a video studio.
I'll be directing the cameras during the shoot, which means that in the end, when I'm doing the final edit, I'll have the exact shots that I want, hopefully. It also means that I get experience with directing that sort of thing, and I can bring it to a potential employer and say, I'm experienced at directing people, I'm experienced at working in this type of environment. This show requires HD video cameras that are recording at the same time as audio capture and lights and video.
Resolume is the VJing software we're using, and it's nice because you kind of have layers and decks, same as how you would DJ, but with video, and then there's a bunch of effects and you can drag them in, fade and stuff. I wanted to at first do the actual, back then they did the liquid light shows, but I think Rishi did it for a show 2 years ago, so I got some of the footage from that show, so some of the stuff you see will be the actual liquid and oil.
The DMC supplies, well, first of all, they supply all the equipment, which would normally cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. They supply Jacques and Jeff. Jacques is going to be he's going to be a camera operator for me, but he's actually in charge of the video studio, and he's kind of instrumental in putting all the shows together.
All right, so this is the Mars Pack. It's a handheld camera device.
Jeff is the lighting guy. He worked with Aerosmith and Santana. He's got some great stories. He's been around the block.
Grouping everything onto separate sliders so I grab them real fast.
I also get a couple camera operators for free. I get cameras to work with. The DMC always also supplies Rishi Daftuar, who will be my front of house engineer. He's very experienced in live sound. He'll be mixing the show for the audience.
The most important thing that full-time staff does here is we support the students to try to get their vision out. So in this case, we've been working with Patrick all year long, and specifically since the beginning of the term, just helping him fine-tune and realize what he's trying to do for this project.
Didn't we just talk about putting a condenser on the guitar as well?
Oh yeah, that's all secondary stuff.
Okay.
And so he produced the show, he had to get the stage, he had to get the bands, he had to coordinate their schedules.
The stage, I was actually very fortunate. I worked with my high school band director over at Huron High School, which is nearby, and was able to secure their stage for free, which is nice because I checked around and the only other stages I can rent were about $2,000 for the week.
It was one of the first times, if not the first time, we've had someone be a video director. Normally Jacques does the hot switch and directs the cameras, but in this case, Pat's doing it.
So there might be times where I don't even need you to be careful when you're moving in. I'll be like, okay, Ben, cut over to the left guitarist, just go ahead. like frame up type of thing. And that way you go over and you set up before I cut to the shot.
There's times where, as a staff member, you know, to interject and sort of say, you might want to think about it this way, or you might want to try to arrange some different plans. Pat might have one idea for lighting that practically doesn't make sense, and Jeff might step in and say, Pat, I can do that for you, but you might want to think about doing it this other way, and then they can collaborate together in coming up with some solution. It's an invaluable experience to be able to come into the video studio or the audio studio or enter any of our professional spaces and to work in the space for a full week, and sort of be mentored. Basically, you can take the knowledge that you do know and really elevate it. And I don't think we've had any students, clients, whatever you want to call them, who have been unsatisfied with their experience here. Everyone seems to be coming out with smiles, and they really like working with the professional staff here, and we really love working with them.
It was incredibly easy to create the show that I wanted. I don't think I could have done it easier anywhere else, actually.
The facilities are really, really cool. Some really great people, really great stuff.
I mean, I've never had any experience in any type of studio, but it seems just as professional as any other.
I had no idea that you had a sound stage like that. I didn't know that existed.
It's been so cool. All of the stuff in here, just even like seeing that there's we're using an SM7B for TJ's vocals. No big deal. It's only like a ridiculously awesome vocal mic.
This is a Shure SM7. It's a classic. It's an industry standard. It makes my voice sound real good.
And Anthony Kiedis, he's used him for all of his vocals in Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we really had a lot to work with, and we could really particularly choose equipment to how we wanted to sound, how we wanted, for me, the vocals to come through and all that. It was really great. So.
The stage setup for this is the microphones get plugged into the stage boxes at the stage. Those stage boxes directly feed the console, which is a front of house console. The front of house console is how you control what the audience in the video studio hears. All of these lines then get sent back to the record console, which is in the video studio control room, and Jonah controls basically a live mix for the video.
I'm here in a closed-off environment, and what I'm getting is the feed from the live desk. So my perspective is different. I get to see the show through that window and through my monitors. And the sound that I'm hearing is pretty much the feed coming from the microphones out there into this room. So it's a little bit different, Essentially it's the same thing, but the energy and the vibe is a little bit different. And the mix is going to be different for that reason too.
Patrick is doing a video hot switch. So he's basically taking all the different camera angles and putting one live video mix together. And then Jonah's doing the equivalent in audio, where he's taking all the different audio channels that I'm feeding him. Each microphone represents a channel. And then he's mixing that, and then you put those two together and you'll have basically a live product that you can either edit further or you can distribute as necessary. Peter is the stage manager, and he was extremely helpful in getting monitor mixes, because while I tweaked monitors, he was able to go and stand where the guitar player's monitor is while the guitar player is playing and saying, hey, you should give him more guitar or less bass or more drums or whatever. So it really helped to have a second person on the stage saying, how to raise or lower the levels to balance the monitor mixes. One thing we found is that once the monitor mixes were good for each musician, it really locked in their playing, and there was almost no problems from that point on. But until the monitor mixes were set up properly, it was a problem.
It is a little hot in my monitor and my vocals.
Patrick had found these bands, and he liked their energy, and they play really well, and it's the kind of music he likes. So trying to support the student to get what they want, but also support the bands, and it all kind of works together. So just really trying to capture the energy and provide a good listening experience for the audience. Mic placement is one of the most important things a recording engineer can learn or work with. So the goal is always to try to capture the sound of the instrument, or try to enhance it or modify the sound to make it sound better. Most of the time, I'm just putting my ear up to a drum or a guitar cabinet or a bass cabinet and trying to hear where my ear hears the sound the best, and then placing the microphone there. And I use that as a starting point. And then if something doesn't sound good, I will change or move it accordingly. So sometimes when you put up a really, really nice mic, musicians who aren't used to that are like slightly afraid of it. They feel awkward getting too close to it or screaming really loud into it. And when you put up a mic they're used to, such as, you know, Shure SM58 or 57, you know, they can grab it and they can move it around, and they're not feeling like they have to be so delicate with it that they can't perform as well as they could.
Well, I think the biggest influence for the band has been our bonding. We've always made it an initiative to band bond with manovers, with corned beef hash, with gummy bears. It's always just been bonding, and I think it shows in our music.
I love every single one of those guys with all my heart, and this would not be what it is without the love and support of them. Because you can play the best music in the world, be the most talented player in the entire universe, but if you don't have it here with the people who are standing next to you, you're not going to hear what you want to hear. So I love those guys, and I'm so glad to be here with them.
I'd just like to thank Pat for putting this on, and it's been a lot of fun, so thanks.
I've always liked Pat.
I like Pat a lot.
Yeah.
He's easy to work with.
I just want to say that I met Pat before Pat was actually a student at the University of Michigan. It was the summer before he got admitted. And he has grown from a little pea in a pod to the full-out producer and director of this show. And I'm so proud of him.
What kind of music do we play? Oh my god.
I would classify us maybe as a southern rock and roll band.
It's kind of more like pop rock-esque.
I'd say like alternative rock.
A funky blues sound pretty much describes it.
You know, there's a lot of vocals, a lot of singing.
We play that music like if you're at a really nice house party and you're like, oh, put on some Audacity. Everybody'd be like, hell no. They're too awesome to be at a house party.
More blues, well.
Kind of a little bit of a southern twang sometimes.
So yeah, I'd say pop rock.
Funk. Just funk. No blues.